Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm King POSH, and today we're looking at my Legend rear-wheel drive drift tune for this 1967 Shelby GT 500. Here is my share code. Got it? Great. And this thing is a A-Class 701 for a reason. I know you guys can take this thing and make it, a A797 or even like, an A800 rear-wheel drive, but you can see other people that have all-wheel drive, of course, on there as well. I wanted to make it an A701 just to prove that it is rear-wheel drive and ready for action. So let's get into my build and show you guys everything I've done to this thing to make it an A701. All right, and this thing is also tuned from the 1965 Ford Mustang GT. So, but this one is just geared different and handles a lot better. Either way, let's get into this thing. So we've got an 8.9 liter V8 giving you the 1500 horsepower while keeping it right at the 701 class. All right, stock drivetrain, rear-wheel drive. This is a rear-wheel drive video. I decided to go with the first one, the first street front bumper, because it says Shelby on there. All right, the original doesn't have it on there. This is what the all-wheel drive has on it, all right? But yeah, all the other ones don't say Shelby in the front, and I said, you know what? I'm going to go with this one because that's what it says, and it looks really good on there, all right? And then I went with just the regular, nothing in the back, all right? Here I went with a vintage white wall tire compound. I didn't see a really big change in going from stock tire compound. But I said, you know what, we'll make it with the white walls. You don't hardly see them out there. I said, hey, it's not hurting anything, so I went with that. All right, we got two 45s in the front and two 95s in the rear. Nice, big, beefy rear tires. Looks really good on there, as the Eleanor should. All right. And then I went with these guys right here. And as you can tell, they are like gold in the middle. I'll show you guys the person to get the paint job on it. So it can give you the, the gray in there. And also says the GT 500 on there. Okay. And then we got 15s in the front and 15s in the rear. All right. We got the upgraded front track width in the front and upgraded track width in the rear. All right. Here we just got a stock clutch and a 10-speed transmission to handle all of that power. We got a race drive line and a drift differential. Here we got sport brakes on there at least, and drift springs and dampeners. We have race anti-roll bars for the front and rear. No roll cage, but that's what it would look like. All right, we don't need it. All right. And it's got a street weight reduction. We're saving 100 pounds. All right, gets us up to a 701 by doing that. Yes, you could go higher, but I wanted a 701. All right. I wanted to make sure people knew that this thing was rear-wheel drive, because people can make an A-Class all-wheel drive with this car. And I have. Not right there. Right here. And I have. And I'll show that video after I'm done. There's the Master all-wheel drive. It's an A800. All right. So I can distinguish them just to let you guys know that. Okay. And here's the tune. This tune is the 1965 Ford Mustang except for the gearing. Okay. So we got 55 and 55. All right. The gearing is completely different because this thing is a lot heavier than the 65 Mustang. All right, we'll go over that. All right, so those are the gears. All right, here is the alignment, and the alignment works very well. All right, very, very well. Anti-roll bars are 3250, 3250. Springs are 955.3, 936.0. Lowest you can go is 9.3 inches off the ground. This thing is meant for off-road at this point. All right, that has more ground clearance than my Subaru Crosstrek in real life. All right. We've got dampening is 20/20, 1 and 1. All right, no downforce to worry about. Brakes, we have those, sport or street brakes, one of those two. So you can't mess with it. And then differential is 21% and 0% decel. And that's the tune, and that's the build. Last thing we need to do is take her outside. Oh yeah, well, I'll go through all the other stuff. Hold on. Let's not take you outside yet. I almost forgot. Like I said, the paint jobs for this car and who you're going to want to find is going to be Gun and 60. All right, this is the one you're going to want. All right, somehow I have it twice in there. Well, it's because I have two of them. That's right. Either way, that's the one you want. All right, got it? Great. And it's all the other cars that I've been working on you haven't seen videos on. So there's that as well. All right, cool. All right, now we can take her outside. Takes off no problem. And I'll show you guys the heaviness of this vehicle versus the 65 after. But it looks good. Alright. It's got great gears. Great gears. So it's definitely ready for those open drift lobbies. And they got the gears to do it. They're all close together. So you shouldn't have a problem wherever you go. I forget where I went through on this. I think it was through third gear. We'll go third gear with it. Handles very easily. There's a 4-1 with it. I think we can try that in second gear as well. Come up here. Yeah, I think this thing actually handles a little bit better than the 65, to be honest. Just a little bit. But here's second gear. A little off, that's okay. There's a 42.7 right there. Plenty of power. Eleanor is beautiful. And it's got the Shelby in the front. I love it. It lets everybody know it's a Shelby, because the only place other than it says, Shelby, now that it says Shelby in the front, is in the back. And it's very tiny. Very tiny. Alright, so I have the Shelby, says it there. Alright. You can't even see it on the emblem on the side. I mean, it's there. And then it's really small right there. It says Shelby. It's like it's Shelby GT500. It's trying to be soft about it. But, yeah, by having that, front right there, it says Shelby. Big and proud. It looks really good. But, like I said, this car weighs 3,700 pounds. And then, 3,700. Where's the other one? Silver. There's a lot. Yeah. 2,400 pounds versus 3,744. So the Shelby is definitely a lot heavier than the Mustang GT. By far. So when I put the tune from this onto this and I took it out and it did not leave first gear, I was like, wow, something's wrong with this thing. Then I realized, well, that would make sense. The Shelby is basically a Bentley compared to a Mustang. It is super heavy. So same engine, but for some reason, this thing weighs 3,700 pounds. But yeah. Absolutely wild. So. And that's the build, that's the tune, that's the video on this beautiful Shelby GT500. Well, hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the tune as well. But hey, until then, I'll catch you guys next time. Stay sideways, my friends.